Hey, I'm Jem and I'm your host.
And I'm your co-host Sam, and together we're here to bring you the
The
Solo
Solo
Success
Success
Podcast.
Podcast. So, the reason why we're bringing this to you today is that the hair and beauty industry is moving fast towards a world of freelancers. Over 70% of people working in the space are freelance, and actually 48% of salons are looking to close within the next couple of years. So, there's a big opportunity for those who want to go solo. But what we found is that there wasn't any good resource out there to help you on your journey.
So on each episode, we'll be speaking to different industry experts and insiders, those that have been on interesting journeys and that have stories to tell, and they're going to be sharing their tips and advice on how you can elevate your solo beauty career.
I'm super excited. That's so awesome. Let's get into it. Hello, welcome to the podcast today, Abbie. Very excited to have you with us. So you have been in the nail industry for like 8 years. You've been teaching for 4, and you specialize in luxury nail services and education. And I think what's really kind of interesting about your journey is you had this kind of transformation. You started at Tesco's, then you had like a few customers on the side, and then you became a successful salon owner, and now an educator. So welcome. Super excited to have you with us.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to have a chat with you today.
Great, thank you. So I think like the first thing I would love to really kind of know and understand is like you had this fantastic journey from being kind of a Tesco employee to running a successful nail business. How did that go about? Like, can you tell me a bit more about that journey?
Yeah, so I knew I didn't want to work at Tesco, so I knew that I wanted to do nails and beauty full time. And but I was having to work at Tesco's because I needed to bring the money in. And one day I just thought I can't grow my business if I'm putting all of my time and effort into going to my Tesco job. So I had under 5 clients and they weren't all regular. And I just thought I can't keep going. Like it had been a while. So anyway, I handed my notice in and left. And then when I first left, I thought, oh, I've got all this time now. All of these clients will just start coming to me. And it doesn't always work that way, does it? So I was in a bit of a shock. So yeah, I had to then really figure out what I was doing, how I was going to run this business, and how I was going to get clients to come to me.
That's really interesting. So you actually took quite a big bet because you were like, I don't have regular clients, but you still decide to left your job and fully focus on it. And I think like I really like that approach because I'm a bit the same. Like if I don't fully commit to something, like I end up not doing it that much. How did you kind of first of all take the courage to do this, and then how did you kind of from that point where you were like, okay, well now I've left my job, I need to make this work. What did you do to make it work?
Yeah, okay, so when, like, to make the plunge to actually do it, because I was putting most of my effort and time into Tesco's and then nothing into the business, it was just dribs and drabs whenever I had the time or the effort or the energy to even do it. And I thought, like, this isn't going to work long term. This is not going to get me to where I want to be. I've got to do it. So I just did it, and everybody told me not to. Everybody said, no, like, you're going to have no money, you've got no clients, it's not going to work if you just do that. But I knew I had to make it work, right? So I did. And then at first I was, like I said, expecting lots of people to come to me, and it just didn't work out that way. So then I had to figure out what's everybody else doing in my area, what's missing, and how am I going to stand out from everybody else. At the time, it was nail art. Not many people were doing nail art, so I really put, like, what I did and what I tell my students to do now is when, say they're going to work 9 till 5, they have to commit those hours to working. So even if they haven't got any clients in, they can't go and Skype off and watch Netflix or go and walk the dog or be distracted. They need to spend that time working on themselves, on their business, on their skills, which is exactly what I did. So the times that I wasn't working, I was improving my skills, my social media and my marketing. I noticed that, yeah, not many people doing nail art. So I was like, okay, I'm going to stand out by doing this. And this got me a lot. And then I noticed that a lot of people on their socials weren't utilising their social media, so they weren't saying where they were. It wasn't easy to see what they did or how to book in with them. And I think on your socials, you really need to say, like, this is me, this is who I am, where I am, and this is how you book in. And having your booking system linked as well, so people could just book straight with that. And I was just really consistent. So I have like a list of tasks that I do every day. that's going to help me bring clients in.
That's super helpful to know. Like, I think like it is very courageous to really kind of go out on your own and really kind of leave like a stable pay behind. I think everybody will always tell you like, oh, don't do this. Like, this is so much of a risk. But I think like being such a risk taker is what kind of makes you like a successful business owner. And I love like how you kind of went for a niche with the nail art and kind of went there and started like kind of building it. So how did you go from like kind of this kind of 5, kind of customers, not even regular, to like having a fully booked business?
I was just putting myself out there. So with my marketing, I had layers of marketing, and like I said, I have like a list of things that I do every day. And one of them is that I'm showing up on those layers of marketing every day. I need to be in people's faces. And I was doing that. And then a lot of people were saying like, you're everywhere. Like, I am seeing you everywhere. And I noticed as well when I was out in my area, people I didn't know would recognise who I was, and it was from showing up. Like, I'm not afraid to put my face on my socials and things like that, which I know a lot of nail techs don't like doing. But if they don't know what you look like, they're not gonna want to book or even recognise you when you're out. You need to be known, especially when you're running a business. You need to be seen and recognised for what you do.
Mm-hmm. That's really interesting. So okay, so you have this system where you are out there every day, yeah. So I think like a lot of nail techs that I've spoken to, or beauty pros, or even like hairdressers, like what they find difficult is like, what can I say? How do I put myself out there? Like, how do I post every day? What did you do? Like, how do you come up with like ideas for posting and making sure you were in people's feed all the time?
Okay, so I was thinking about my client journey and thinking about, if I go somewhere, I want to know, can I park? Where is it? What does it look like? What does the room look like? I work from home, so what does the room look like? Or if I was going anywhere, I'd want to know what the person looks like. So I'd document like, this is where I am, like, and I'd share pictures of my work, share pictures of me, and then if I was going to come on and do like a face to camera, even if it's just going on your stories and just talking about your day, people are nosy, so you don't always have to just talk about nails. And then I was thinking about like my clients' pain points. So what is it they want to do? They want to grow their nails. So then I'd come up and talk about, if you want to grow your nails, this is what you need to do. And I was just showing up every day. I think now it's easier as well because you've got ChatGPT, so you can literally ask like ChatGPT, like, these are my clients' pain points, what can I talk about today? So it's much easier now to think of ideas to come up and speak.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. I use like AI, I don't use GPT, I use Claude, which is another one. I use that constantly for getting ideas, for finding, kind of new inspiration. And I think that's so helpful.
And I think planning your content as well, because some days you'd be like, my mind is just blank. I have no idea. I don't know anything. And then you don't post because you don't know what to post. So I think when you're in the mood on the day, and you're like creative and you've got all these ideas, then it's the time to plan your content, and you can always reuse your content as well.
Yeah, completely. What I've been doing is I've been kind of trying kind of content out. You try different hooks, you try different kind of stories, and then you kind of reuse the one that worked and kind of repurpose them, because I think the way the algorithm works is that it only serves like a very small percentage of your followers, your content. Yeah. So actually the likelihood of people seeing it twice is very low anyway.
That's right. Yeah.
So you might as well just posting it again. So how long did it take you from like kind of this kind of the moment you started to being fully booked? Did it take like a long time, or?
It took under 6 months to go from under 5 clients to being fully booked with regular clients. And my clients would book in advance, like 3 to 6 months in advance. So I always knew what was coming in. They'd book in either through me when they're in, or just on the booking site as soon as it would, as far ahead as it would let them book, they would book in. And it also got to a point where, like in your Facebook groups for like your area, people would say, I'm looking for a nail tech. And it would get to the point where I had like loads of people recommending me. So then everyone says, oh, you had, like, everyone was talking about you, so that's why I've booked with you. So that word of mouth is really good. And there's things that you can do when your clients are in, like referral schemes, or giving them something for free if they bring so many clients to you. And you can even upsell it on the day, or if you offer like more than just nails, you could bring in more treatments or do little packages. So then you're not having to find as many clients. and you're still filling your diary.
Yeah, you can cross-sell and upsell as well. Yeah, completely. Yeah, I think these are like really kind of good tips for nail techs that are getting started. So you went from like 0 to like fully booked in like 6 months, and that was purely through social media.
Yeah, just through. I didn't have a website. It was just social media. So Instagram, Facebook, and Google Business.
Okay.
And word of mouth.
And word of mouth. Very cool. So like, that's the kind of the secret, right? It's like finding your niche. You went for nail art.
Yeah.
Then you start posting on social media regularly. You obviously have a nice Google My Business page so that people can find you on Google. You also go on Facebook. So Facebook and Instagram are obviously the same platform. So you kind of post on both. And that's how you were able to get kind of your initial customer base, and they then started referring to like other people as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's what I always like to say to people to do, but it's always a little bit difficult to like get into the groove of like, okay, you know what, I'm going to post every day and do all this. But I think what you were saying, which I really, really kind of buy into, is like if you start working on your nail business and you say you leave your 9 to 5 to do this, like when you don't have a client, it's not the moment to like, as you said, watch Netflix and do nothing else. It's like, that's the moment where you create content. So actually at the beginning, when you get started and you have less customers, that's when you have the most opportunity to create content, to push yourself out there. And it does make sense, right? That's when you need the clients the most. So you should be pushing yourself the most. And then when you get fully booked.
Yeah. And I find a lot of people will say, oh, but I don't have any clients, so I can't post any content. But you don't just have to post client nails. In fact, no, it gets boring if all you're posting is client nails. You need to stand out. You need to be different. And you have nails on your own hands that you can actually work on if you wanted to. You've got like pops that you can work on if you wanted to show off a design or something. And then a lot of people will say as well, like, I don't have time, I've got kids. And I understand I've got kids too. Well, just one. But, you know, when he's asleep, I'd be like, right, I've got 2 solid hours of him being asleep before I want to go to bed where I can just focus straight on the business. And even if you did that 2 times a week, it's more than you were before, and you're going to keep progressing.
Yes, completely. That's great. So now you're the founder of HON Nail Academy, so House of Nostalgia Salon Academy.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit more about like what you kind of teach and how you're kind of, again, I think you found like a very nice niche on your business, and I'm sure you've done the same thing for your training, right?
Yeah. So I started training after lockdown, and part of me thought, because of the training that was available to me before I started teaching, I found it hard to find like a good course, and you'd end up having to do more than one course on the same thing because the training wasn't amazing. And I don't know if it was just because that was my area. Online training, it wasn't really a thing back then, really. And I just thought and when you go on a course and you can tell it was done for the money, not for you, if that makes sense. So I thought, I need to teach, I need to help more people be better at this, because I had to spend like a lot of money and go on lots of courses, wasting lots of time at the beginning to get my skills where they were. And then as well, nobody was helping you with how to run your business. So you were just doing your training, off you pop, and you're like, right, okay, now what then? And a lot of people don't know what to do when they get to that point. So I thought, I need to teach, and I need to mentor as well, so that they can go on and build a business. I don't want people just to come to me and do a course and leave it. I want them to do a course, and I want them to do well. I want them to get lots of clients and live the life that they want. So yeah, that's how I started training. So what I teach my students is I solely focus on just nail training now. And we go right from like beginners training to advanced. And when I'm teaching and mentoring, I focus on students becoming a luxury nail tech and standing out, because this is something that not many people are doing right now. So I'm helping students like get off the ground and find something that makes them different straight away. Like for me, when I was starting out, it was nail art. Not many people were doing nail art, whereas now a lot of techs do nail art. So yes, you need to be good at that, but you also need to find something else that's going to make you stand out. So what I do find is that some nail techs will say they are like a natural nail specialist. They'll only do gel and builder gel. But there's so many of them doing that now. So if they want to stand out a little bit more, they need to be able to offer like extensions, or because you will get clients that come in that builder gel doesn't suit and gel doesn't suit, and then you've lost that client because you can't give them an alternative. So I think it's important that techs are like multi-skilled throughout all the systems, but also by concentrating on the client experience that they're given, which is why I teach luxury manicure and paraffin wax, because it's a great add-on to the service and it makes you stand out from everybody else, and not many people are offering it. Years ago when people trained, they'd go and do like a level 2 or a level 3 and mani and pedi was included, but I think a lot of people didn't give it much thought and just kind of left it and focused on the nails. And then now when people train, they'll tend to do like a gel polish course, a builder gel course. So then they're not trained in like paraffin wax and like the luxury part of the treatment that just gets overlooked. But actually clients love it. So it's definitely something that people should be offering and considering their clients' experience when they book with them.
So tell me a bit more about that. So that's really fascinating. So what you're saying is that you're teaching them to offer a luxury manicure, luxury experience. And I think like a lot of professionals will really kind of resonate with this, because I think like you're always trying to like create this kind of special, bespoke luxury experience for your clients. Yeah. So you're talking about the paraffin wax, which is something that I find really interesting. Can you tell us a little bit more about how you kind of upgrade your treatments and how this specific add-on is so different to anything else you could do out there?
Yeah, so if you compare it to somebody who's going to a shop to quickly get their nails done, they're probably there. Let's say you're trying to get it done in under an hour. You're rushing because your next client's coming. And this also ties in with like pricing. You're probably not pricing right if that's the way you're working. But yeah, if you're rushing that client through, they're going to feel like they're being rushed and they're just a bum on seat and you don't value them. Whereas you need to think about your client and what they're looking for when they come for an appointment. So a lot of them are looking for time out. They need time to relax. They are also living like a busy, stressful life. And this time with you is their time to chill out. So you need to consider that. What can I do that's going to make them feel different? So it's not about just having good nails, because a lot of people can do good nails. To stand out, you need to be thinking about, even just like if you had a candle on in the house or in your salon, it makes your salon smell different. And that straight away can have a calming effect on your client. And then thinking about like the atmosphere that you're giving, if you've got any music on in the background, things like that. But then all of this already is making your client feel different to going to the other tech that rushed them. And then if you're adding the paraffin wax on the end, so you'll find, especially during like the winter months, clients will say things like, oh, my hands are really dry, they're cracked, they've split, I've been picking because they're so dry. That there is your ultimate, be like, right, okay, do you want to add paraffin wax on? And then you list off all the benefits, like it's really hydrating. Or if somebody's got like arthritis, struggles with their joints, you could be like, you need paraffin wax, the heat is really going to help soothe that. And if you just really hone in on the benefits of that, they're going to be like, oh my God, I want it. Mm-hmm. Or they'll say, I've never had it, what is it? And then and because in their mind it's then new, but you're selling it as something that is like really luxury and it's so good for you and it's going to make you feel this certain way, they're like, oh my God, I need it.
Okay, super interesting. So what does it do? Like you were starting to hint on this about like kind of when you have like very dry skin, and I think I saw something on your social media where you were like, oh, you keep on saying like cuticle oil, and I use cuticle oil, right? But you were like, well, this is not enough. Like paraffin wax is kind of that next level if you have really dry skin. So yeah, what does it do? How does it work? Like, tell me a bit more about that.
Yeah, so paraffin wax itself is just a really hydrating ingredient, and it's hot when it goes on, and then it dries. And then as it's drying, because the way you do a paraffin wax, so you would do obviously the nails first, then you'd finish off with your hand cream, like massage and oil, and then you put in the paraffin wax on top of that, and that is already really hydrating, but you're leaving it on for around 15 minutes, and what it does is really help lock in the creams and the oils. So clients that have just like a little bit of dry skin will say that softness and that like nice feeling will last the whole time until they come again next time. Or if your client, I have one whose skin is really dry and cracked, she's had 2 now and her skin's really starting to heal just through like the winter, and if she continues that through to like March, April, her hands should feel a bit better throughout the summer. But if she starts it early from like September, October, her hands won't get in the condition that they did like midwinter. So yeah, that's also something to like talk about when you're talking about it to your clients as well.
Okay, fascinating. I really like this approach of like having a specific service that you can then upgrade to and that you know really well and that you kind of differentiate yourself from others. So if you want to maybe learn more about paraffin wax, I think they should go and see you on your social media, right? It's like
Yeah,
HON
thank you.
underscore Nail Academy, right?
Yeah, thank
That's on
you.
Instagram. And then there's also a website, honnailacademy.com. So HON, HON, Nail Academy. And I think that's where you will find a lot more about this service and you can teach them how to use this service and upgrade their clients with that service.
That's right. It's so easy to learn as well, and it's really quick to do with your clients. So it's not, you're adding revenue into your business, increasing your spend per customer with something that is such little like effort. It's so
How much
easy
can
to
you add to a service with this? Like how much could you charge for
do.
this add-on?
Depending on somebody's pricing and what they already price it at, but minimum £10, and you're
Okay.
looking at under £2 cost per service. It only
Okay.
takes 15 minutes on top of the appointment.
All right. So that could be like a very nice margin and money maker for your
Yeah.
business. So that's
But
really cool.
I would suggest charging more than £10 because it is a luxury service and it's not something that everybody else is doing. You don't want to price yourself too low. So I would say like minimum 10, but I'd go with 15 plus, depending on your hourly rate and everything else that you need to include.
I think you're touching on some really interesting stuff here. Like, what is your hourly rate? How do you charge? Like, I think these are like really important things, and I guess that's what you're gonna learn with you, right? As well.
Yeah, I'll go through that with them, yeah.
Excellent.
Does your booking system still suck? Then you should look into Jenna.
Hey, I'm Jen, and I'm the founder of Jenna. We created Jenna specifically for solo business owners. We know how hard it is to build your own business, and without the right tools, it's even harder. Booking systems suck because they're designed for big salons. They're complicated, they have expensive monthly fees, and loads of hidden fees. And that's why we built Jenna.
With Jenna, you can look professional with a professionally designed website where you need no tech skills.
Jenna also helps you get your evenings back, because on average, beauty pros spend 45 minutes going back and forth with their clients. With Jenna, you can set your boundaries. Our system takes bookings, sets reminders, and handles payments automatically.
And with Jenna, we know how important it is for you to build your own brand with your own website, which is fully customizable. You don't sit next to your competitors on a marketplace, and we make sure that you stand out to your clients.
And the best is that it's only £19 per month. That's it.
No way!
With Jenna, there are no new client fees, no hidden fees, and no unexpected big bills at the end of the month.
This sounds too good to be true, but it's not. So check it out on jenna.so or look for @jenna.ai_ on Instagram.
Yes, check out Jenna on the App Store as well.
Talking about kind of hourly rates and business systems, I mean, we're very big on like using technology to automate your business and having the right systems to grow your business. What type of kind of systems do you recommend nail techs to have if they were to like kind of grow and become fully booked?
So as a nail tech, I think you should be having your booking system in place, your Google business in place so people can find you. You are a local business and you're attracting local people, so you need to think, where are they? Your social media needs to be in place, and you need to be keeping track of your numbers, because that's really important. If you don't know what you've got coming in, you don't know what you're doing day to day. So you really do need to understand how many clients you need a week, so you know how to market yourself in all those areas.
You've implemented the booking system, right? In your business.
I do, and I'm just switching over to Jenna. And what I love about Jenna is, so I do a few different things. So I've got my clients, I do my training, I do mentoring, and I also do permanent jewelry, right? So I've got a lot going on.
So many things.
Yeah. And what I love about Jenna is that you can set specific things to certain days, which is great because then you can utilise your diary properly. So say for me, if I had somebody wanting their nails doing, but then somebody else wanted a course, and say that nail client is booked in the middle of the day, that whole day then is wasted. Whereas if I had that set day for training, it's available, and then the client days could be 2 or 3 days or whatever, and then it just fits much better. And the same with the permanent jewellery. If I was out for a day and I could put in where I was going to be, and instead of, because imagine if I'd gone out for the day and then somebody had booked nails and I weren't where I work for nails. So I think that's great, and I love that. And it will just really utilise your time.
That's really great.
More people in.
No, so great to hear. And so, but before you were using another system, and how did you see just using, because did you start like using a system, or you had pen and paper to start with?
I actually did have pen and paper to start with.
So then you upgraded to like a booking system.
Yeah, because I found with pen and paper, and a lot of techs will do this, like, oh, I just want to stay old school for a bit. But all they're doing is holding themselves back, and I'm not really sure why. I know when I was doing it, I thought, oh no, I want to keep control of my diary, and I don't want, but you can't run a business that way. It's a waste of your time, because what you'll find you do is, like I was saying earlier, like you need to utilise the way that your socials and all the pages that you use to attract clients. How are they booking in with you? And if they can't see clearly how to book, they're just going to be like, I can't even see, I'm going to find someone else. Or what I find as well is people want things like instantly. And some people stay up late, like if you've got kids and stuff, the things you do for yourself come really late at night, right? So if I was looking to like book my hair, for example, and I found somebody that I liked, but I had to message her, I'd think, oh, it's 11 at night, she's probably asleep. Or I'm not going to reply till tomorrow. I'll just go and find somewhere else where I can see what they've got, and I'll just book it now. And I think it puts a lot, especially now, it puts a lot of people off if they can't just grab a link and book for themselves. Even though you want to keep control as well, especially like inside Jenna, they can have certain days for certain treatments if that's what they wanted to do. And I'm sure with the way you set it up with your how long the treatment takes and stuff, you can probably have it set so they take certain hours.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
So,
I think like, we definitely like kind of built the system with your control in mind to make sure that you have like the control of your system. But I think you're completely spot on, right? I think like in terms of like booking system, like when you use pen and paper, you're only holding yourself back, because a booking system helps you automate. We actually measured this, and we saw that our users were able to like increase by 33 to 50% their number of bookings, because essentially they were able to capture the whole market. What they were missing before is that you had some customers messaging them that they didn't reply or that they forgot. And then you had the ones who just didn't message. So once you start capturing all of that data, all of that traffic, then your business grows automatically, almost overnight, by this much.
And especially when you are like back and forth messaging, this can go on for like 1 to 2 days. And then, oh, have you got this free? No. Have you got that? No. Can you do that? And it just goes on, and everyone's busy, so they're not always on their phones. So you can be missing out on that person if they can find someone else who can book straight away. Oh yeah, another thing is when, say, if somebody's messaging me to book in, I might not mention like, oh, would you like to upgrade and have your toes done as well? Or would you like to upgrade this treatment to paraffin wax, for example? Whereas if they were booking online, they can be like, oh, look, she does this as well. I'm just going to add that in. So you can be increasing your spend per customer from having a booking system.
Yes. Yeah. I agree. This is so good. Is there anything else like that you would recommend people to kind of use? So you have the booking system, that is one. Are there kind of any other kind of policies or systems in place that you recommend your students so that they can run a better business or they can stand out in the marketplace?
Yeah, definitely take a booking fee when people are booking. Doesn't have to be a lot, but it just means that you know that they're serious. This is something that I never did. And I found that people would no show, and I'd be so annoyed, like I've just lost this much. And I see this a lot on social media. I'll see that like people don't take booking a lot. For me, if somebody no-showed, if they were brand new and they'd no-showed me, I'd just block them so they couldn't book again, because I'm not messing around. I should have took deposits, but I didn't. But I think even if it was just £5, like it's something, and it just shows that client's serious and they will commit to turning up. But yeah, what I find is a lot of techs, I see it loads on social media where they've had a no-show, they've not got these policies in place. It really upsets them, and they let the emotion get to them, and then they come on their stories and they'll express how annoyed they are. But this can actually be really off-putting, and it can, like, to a client, and it can all be avoided just by having that policy in place in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. So how much do you charge now?
For nails?
For like a booking fee.
So I still don't charge for a booking fee
Ooh.
because all of my clients are regulars that have been for years. Nobody lets me down, and I very rarely take on a new client. So that's the reason I don't. But if I was to start again, knowing what I know, 100% yes, I would probably take £10. Say I charge £40 for a set of nails, I'd want £10 up front to secure that booking. So yeah, I'd do that and get them to
Yeah.
book through the system, and then it's all more streamlined then, isn't it?
Yes, completely. I mean, I'm like so pro booking fee. I'm actually an advocate for like taking the full payment up front because I
Okay, yeah.
think that because I think that as a user, there's a few benefits to it. So first of all, I don't think it puts people off when they see like you charging full price, especially if you're like a good nail tech and you're like fully booked. Like, there's no reason why they wouldn't want to do that. Then the second thing, so we haven't seen a decrease in conversion rates on your website. If you want to talk technical terms, like, we haven't seen a decrease when people were charging full amount. So there's no downside to it. The big upside is that as a customer, when you see that someone is charging full amount, I happily pay for this because I know that it secures also my spot. If there's nothing to be paid, like, that's tech, that professional can actually cancel me last minute as well. Like, it goes both ways. And that means that also my schedule can be messed up. So I'd much rather pay for it. And I'm like, I get it. And this is going to be mine. Rather than, having to like negotiate with it. The other thing is if they have like very clear policy around like rescheduling or cancellation, I really respect that. I'm like, okay, cool. So I have 48 hours. If I, or even more, if I have something that will change, then you know what, I'll do this. I'll have to either lose my money or I'm really gonna make a lot, change my schedule to make it as well. So I think like full payment up front is something that I advocate for. I also think finally that you pay for everything up front when you think about it.
Yeah, you do pay for everything up front, you're right. And actually, my massage lady, you book on her website and you pay up front. And I
Here you
didn't
go.
think anything of it the first time I booked. Like, yeah, that's fine. I'm going to turn up. And when you think about it, yeah, you do pay for a lot of things up front.
Yeah,
Even
I
when,
mean, your flights, your holidays, like everything's up front, and
yeah,
it's completely fine, right? You go to the theater, you go to the cinema, you buy your tickets before,
yeah,
and I think it makes a lot of sense because that's how you kind of secure something, especially since COVID, people are very used to doing that.
yeah,
So yeah, and I guess like the other benefit I see in the business is you actually get to upgrade a lot more because on the spot they're already paid, so it's almost like this is a free treatment when you're there. So they're like, oh,
yeah.
maybe I can treat myself to a paraffin wax upgrade, to
Or like
some
my
products.
retail.
Exactly.
Exactly, yeah,
To
yeah.
retail. So yeah, so that's my that's always my kind of message for like booking fees and payments up front, because I think like especially if you use a booking system, it makes it very easy to do.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I mean, I really love like kind of your approach, which is like you find a niche, right? You nail down on this niche. When you commit to something, you commit fully. And then once you get there, you use the time that you are not booked yet, especially in the early days, to put yourself out there on a regular basis and try to get customers that way. Do you have any recommendations in terms of how to identify these kind of market gaps? So you found that there was no there was not a lot of nail art. How did you do that? And
Yeah, so
yeah,
when I was looking for techs that were working around me, and I'd study their pages, their websites. Not, I mean, a lot of people will do this to look at pricing, and then a lot of people have this mindset of, well, they're this much, I'll just do the same. I wasn't doing it for pricing, and that's not how you price either. But I would be looking at what services are they offering, and what are they doing most, what are they posting most. I'd find that a lot of them actually don't post a lot on social media at all. The pricing and the services the pricing was low, and the services, there was no nail art from what I found when I was looking, and there was nothing that made them all different. You'd go on the pages and they all look the same, nothing made them stand out. And in my mind, I was like, I need to be completely different to attract clients, so to make me stand out. But also, when you show up as you and your personality, you're going to attract people like you. So the clients that do come are going to love you and you're probably going to get on with them really well, which is going to keep them coming back. Whereas I think if you're just blending in with everybody else, you've got nothing that's, oh, that's definitely her. Like, you want people to recognise it's you without even seeing your name pop up. They're just seeing your work or your space, and they'll know it's you. And now if I was looking at what I do notice now is that everybody is just gels, builder gel, natural nails. A lot of people are going for like the minimal kind of vibe, but there is a lot of people doing that. So if you want to stand out, you need to think, you've got to enjoy what you do as well. So you need to think about what you can enjoy doing, but also what is missing. So it is that luxury experience and providing a whole experience for your clients, not just, I need bums on seats. And yeah, thinking about other ways that you can not lose clients. For example, like I was saying earlier, when you have clients come in and the builder gel isn't working for them, because we all know that, you know, one system doesn't fit all. So you need to think about other ways that you can make sure you're going to meet all your clients. So say, for example, if somebody needed hard gel or aqua gel instead of builder gel or acrylic or whatever, you can offer that to them, because if you haven't got it, you're going to lose that client. They're going to go to somebody else, and you don't want to be losing clients.
Yeah.
Over something, especially over something that you can like change and that you can...
Yeah, that you can do. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And I guess these are all the things that you teach, right? At the HON Nail Academy. And I think you have like a very specific teaching experience. Do you want to tell us a bit more about that experience that you have?
Yeah, that's right. So when students come to me, I'm not the educator that's going to sit here tell you what to do with the service or like how to do a set of nails and then leave you to it. We're going to be talking before, throughout, after your training. I am going to keep getting in contact with you, like, how's it going? Because I find that the momentum is so high when people leave, like they're so excited to go and get started. It's a week or two in, that's dropped off a little bit. They're like, oh, this isn't going the way I thought it was going. And then they just leave it. And then I'll reach out and they're like, oh, they might say that, like, yeah, everything's going great. But some of them might say, oh, nobody's booked. And I'm like, okay, well, do you remember that we spoke about this? Are you still implementing that? Do you remember that we spoke about this? Are you still doing that thing? They're like, no, I will do it. So I will keep you accountable. I'm not going to let you go out there and waste all that money on your training and your kit for it to not go anywhere. And yeah, I really want all of my students to win. So I will make sure, and I will just keep in contact with them. But they don't just get the course. Like, I'll teach them how to sell it, how to show up on socials, how to like market yourself so that you stand out from everybody else. Like, I might teach people in the same area, but they are going to be completely different nail techs, and they'll have completely different niches and what they want to attract, and I'll help them do that.
Yeah, no, I like that. I think this is exactly right. Like, you have your own personality, and if you're authentic on social media and you come across that way, and you kind of do the things that you feel are in line with your values, with who you are, then you will attract a certain type of customers. So you could be in the same area with a few other nail techs. You just attract different people, and there is enough kind of customers to have many businesses thrive. Yeah. So I love that, and I love that you're kind of not having just a course and then you get on and do it. Like, you're there and you're on the other side of the phone. Like, we're very much like this as well at Jenna. You have our WhatsApp number, you message us, and I think that really helps people get over the hurdle. What would you say are the most common challenges that students face when they leave, or during the course, but also when they leave?
Confidence is always a big one. Mindset sometimes can be a big one. They'll believe that they're not good enough. They'll use social media to compare, and that's not what you should be using your socials for. So a lot of it, I find, like I was saying, like, they're so excited once they've done the training, they leave, and then they're looking around to see what's different and see how they can be different, or look for ideas on socials and stuff. But actually all they're doing is comparing themselves. So they might be comparing themselves who's only just starting out to somebody who's been doing it for 5-10 years, and they're like, but how are they doing it? How are they doing this? How have they got so far? But they've been in it much longer than you have, and they've already established what makes them different and how they can attract their clients. So that is one thing that I see a lot with people. And then I just have to, like, when we have this conversation, it's about bringing them back down to their lane and concentrating on them and what they need to do, instead of worrying about what everyone else is doing, because that's not focusing on you, and it's not going to get you anywhere. And I would also say that sometimes when students leave, they might forget what they've learned on the day. So the way I teach is that they do the theory online before they come. They get all of their online videos for life, so they can always go back and watch it. And then when they come in on the day, we'll recap theory, but the day is all about practical, because I want my students to leave confident and knowing what they're doing. But if they ever feel that they're not, they've always got their online portal that they can refer back to if they can't remember one thing I've said or whatever, or they can just reach out to me and I'll voice note them and we'll jump on a call if we need to. So they are always fully supported, which I think makes a massive difference.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think this is great. This is so helpful. I think like so many people would benefit from this, and I could definitely see like kind of that confidence, that comparing yourself being like something that brings you down. The way I like to talk about this is like, you know, we're all on this journey, right? And you can only control what you do, essentially. So there's no point in kind of looking around and saying, oh, look at where they're at. Like when you start something new, you're never going to be very good at it. That's just normal. And the more you do it, the better you get. So if you have someone who's been doing this for 10 years, obviously their presence is going to be so good compared to yours. But that's fine. Like you're on your own journey. And that doesn't mean that because this person is so good that you cannot be good, or that you cannot be good in your own little bubble that you're trying to create. Right. So the only thing that is important when you look at other people is getting ideas from what they do. What does this kind of great person do? Like what you were saying, like finding your niche, like what do they don't do? So that you can actually start offering exactly that. So that's really helpful, I think. I love that.
I think social media is great for like a nail and beauty business, because you can look at and see what everybody's doing. You can take inspiration from people, and it's great to see what can be done. But on the same side of it is that it can like affect people's mindset and their confidence and stuff, but they just need to remember what it's there for. Your social media is there for you to show up and post and show up for your audience, show up for your clients, and just show off who you are and what you do to get you to your goals. It's not about turning up and, oh, let me see what so and so down the road's done today, because it's not going to do you any good, and it's not. You need to be working on your business.
Yeah, 100%. What are any kind of future plans for the HON Nail Academy?
Future plans are to do more education. I am really passionate about teaching, helping students with their skills, but also with their business. So in the future, there might be more mentoring style stuff. So if somebody's already fully qualified, but they need help with their mentoring, with their business, and they're not sure what to do, because it can feel really overwhelming, right? When you've got everything that you need, but you're still not getting that income goal or the client goal, or what's the next step for me? I don't want to teach, but I want more. Like, I want to help those people. So that will be my next thing.
That's the next step. Excellent. And so they can find you on Instagram on HON_Nail Academy, or on your website, HONNailAcademy.com. Is there any other place that they can hear about you, find out about you?
No, just so Facebook, Instagram, same, and
Yes.
the website. And if they wanted to email me, they can email me at Abbie@HONNailAcademy.com.
Perfect. Abbie, thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure to have you with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I've really enjoyed having a chat.
Thank you. Speak to you soon. Bye.
Bye.